The natal chart of Kanye West. Genius, hype, madness. When people talk about Kanye West, the conversation usually starts with controversy. Headlines, quotes taken out of context, public meltdowns, extreme statements. But what often gets ignored is that none of this exists in isolation. Kanye's behavior didn't appear suddenly, his genius didn't come out of nowhere, and his dramatic shifts are not random. There is a consistent internal logic behind everything we see. This is not a story about a man who lost control. It is a story about a personality that was never designed to be stable in a conventional sense. Astrology doesn't justify actions, but it does explain patterns, and Kanye's chart describes someone built for intensity, visibility, and impact, not balance, moderation, or peace. Cancer Ascendant, how people perceive him. Kanye West has a Cancer Ascendant, and this placement alone explains why people react to him emotionally before they react intellectually. Cancer rising makes a person emotionally exposed. There is very little separation between what is felt internally and what is expressed outwardly. Kanye doesn't process emotions privately and then present a refined version to the public. His emotional state becomes the message itself. That's why his public appearances feel so personal. Grief looks raw. Anger feels direct. Devotion feels absolute. Even when he's speaking about abstract ideas or systems, people hear it as something deeply personal. The moon, which rules Cancer, forms a supportive aspect to his ascendant. This intensifies the effect. His inner emotional world flows straight into his public behavior. He cannot easily hide what he feels, even when silence or restraint would serve him better. But this sensitivity is not gentle. Pluto forms a tense aspect to the ascendant, adding weight, intensity, and an unspoken sense of power. People instinctively feel that Kanye can dominate emotionally, that he can overwhelm conversations and shift the emotional atmosphere around him. This is why reactions to him are extreme. People either feel drawn in or pushed away. Very few feel neutral. Gemini Sun, why he's not perceived as old. Despite being a public figure for decades, Kanye is rarely perceived as old, outdated, or finished. This comes from his Gemini Sun conjunct Jupiter. Gemini energy stays mentally young. It is curious, restless, experimental, and constantly moving. It doesn't want final answers or fixed identities. Jupiter magnifies this, turning curiosity into excess and ideas into expansive narratives. Kanye does not just explore ideas, he exaggerates them, lives inside them, and pushes them to their extremes. What makes this even more unusual is that his Sun and Jupiter are placed in the 12th house. This is a hidden, dissolving part of the chart. It makes identity fluid and difficult to define. Kanye disappears from public life, then reemerges transformed. He contradicts previous versions of himself without apology. His sense of self dissolves and reforms again and again. This is why he doesn't age in the public eye in a linear way. Instead of settling into a fixed role, he keeps resetting himself. People keep waiting for him to stabilize, but his chart does not support stability. If you're enjoying this look at Kanye West's natal chart, please subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future video releases. I'll be releasing videos every couple of days, and I'm sure you won't want to miss who is next. Venus-Mars in Taurus, sensory genius. One of the most important features of Kanye's chart is the conjunction of Venus and Mars in Taurus in the 10th house. This describes someone who understands creativity through the body and the senses. Taurus is connected to sound, texture, rhythm, material, and physical presence. Venus and Mars together unite desire and action. For Kanye, creating is not intellectual. It is instinctive and physical. This explains why his music feels heavy and tactile. Bass, silence, distortion, repetition, these are not stylistic choices alone. They are expressions of Taurus energy. His music doesn't just communicate emotion, it produces it in the body. This instinct was present early. Growing up in Chicago, Kanye focused deeply on production. He sampled soul records, paid attention to emotional tone, and developed an instinct for how music should feel, not just how it should sound. Even when he struggled to be accepted as a rapper, his production stood out. Taurus doesn't rush recognition. It builds slowly until the result becomes undeniable. This same instinct later expanded into fashion and architecture. Materials matter to him. Fabric, foam, concrete, empty space. This is Taurus thinking through form, amplified by the 10th house's public visibility. Chiron in Taurus in the 10th house adds vulnerability. Public rejection strikes directly at his sense of worth. Criticism doesn't feel external, it feels personal. His work and his value are inseparable. Uranus opposite Venus and Mars, radical rupture. The stability of Taurus is constantly disrupted by Uranus, which stands opposite Venus and Mars. Uranus represents rebellion, rupture, and the refusal to be contained. This opposition creates an internal conflict between building something lasting and the need to break free from anything that feels limiting. This pattern shows up throughout Kanye's life. His early environment was unconventional. He moved between Chicago and China, where his mother taught English. He was intellectually stimulated, but emotionally outside traditional frameworks. He never fully fit the expected narrative of what a rapper should be. That sense of not belonging never left him. When success arrived, Uranus didn't allow him to enjoy it comfortably. After the college dropout, he could have stayed within a safe formula. Instead, he pivoted. 808s and heartbreak stripped away bravado and exposed vulnerability. Later, at the height of mainstream success, Yeezus deliberately rejected accessibility. Harsh sounds, minimalism, confrontation, this wasn't random. It was Uranus refusing domestication. Uranus in Scorpio makes these shifts intense and psychological. Kanye doesn't slowly evolve. He breaks with the past and forces a reset. Mysticism and conspiracy, Neptune. The themes of mysticism and conspiracy come from the opposition between his sun, Jupiter, and Neptune. Neptune dissolves boundaries between truth and belief. In Sagittarius, belief becomes absolute. Kanye experiences systems symbolically rather than pragmatically. Media, politics, corporations, they feel intentional, alive, meaningful. Because his moon is also influenced by Neptune, emotion becomes evidence. If something feels true, it becomes real in that moment. Religion offers structure. When belief is grounded, it stabilizes him. When structure collapses, belief becomes consuming. This placement allows for vision and distortion. The loss that changed everything. The most significant rupture in Kanye's life is the death of his mother. Saturn in his chart shows that structure and validation stabilize him. His mother provided that structure. When she died, containment collapsed. From that point on, Uranian energy intensified. Reinvention accelerated. Public behavior became more erratic. This is not a sudden change. It is a removal of a stabilizing force. Kanye West's chart does not describe a man moving toward peace. It describes someone moving towards symbolism. Pluto ensures cycles of destruction and rebirth. He doesn't fade quietly, he transforms dramatically. Kanye was never built for resolution, he was built for impact. And that is why the story never really ends.